have a. May I have an approval of the minutes from September 13th, please?
No move.
Second,
Say that again.
second, for the minutes.
Second.
There is something about the minutes. I don't know whether it's, I think it's the IDA. My name is on every approval. And I didn't make that many motions to approve that many
Oh, you
things.
did?
Oh, you did. I
Well,
must have-
you did, buddy.
I knew Mike was on.
That
the
was
roll, but I didn't
before they
remember
gave
that.
out the free.
Okay,
staples.
so, full disclosure, our last two meetings, our audio was not working. So the minutes were recreated via my memory. And
And you put the
so
words in my mouth.
I just thought you had two active meetings.
Well, this is being recorded. You can hear my dissent. Approve whatever you like.
Any other discussion? We'll get those three.
You can approve as a number.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed. I'd like to, Glenn, can you run through the financial reports for us?
yeah, I'm gonna skip over the treasurer's report. Well, I guess we can do them, you know. I don't really have anything to add to the existing treasurer's reports. There's some business later on that impacts
Yep.
them. But other than that, just as presented.
And so, Glenn, to interrupt you there, the business that we'll talk about later impacts the fund, which is the same name here.
Yes, so
And
the
that's
business
the-
we'll be discussing later revolves the HUD loan fund account, the IDA loan fund account. Moving those over into the LDC,
Yep,
in the transition of getting the IDA out of the lending business.
so 410,000 in round numbers,
Yes, yes, I have it written down here.
but nothing else.
Right, 414,858.52.
I couldn't get the 52 when I was adding it in my head.
Okay. So you rounded, yeah. Yes, so that would, you know, obviously show up on the next treasurer's report if that motion was approved. And then obviously there'd be a corresponding change on the LDC treasurer report. Moving on to the loan report. Let's see, so starting with the IDA side, number 3, you know the story there. I am in conversation. I keep getting told it will be paid off imminently. Number 8, we discussed last meeting that they are planning to shut their doors in December. I believe with them, since the time this came out, we have received a payment from them. But I have to sit down with them and figure out long-term how we're gonna do it to allow them to pay off what's remaining with their new circumstances.
Yeah.
Um,
We want them to survive and we want our money back.
right,
And
yes.
if it takes 10 more years to get it back, that's okay.
Yes.
We want our money back.
Yes, we want our money back.
Okay.
Yeah, 12 through 14, that's an issue I think we're kind of familiar with as a board regarding potential for those assets to be purchased by another company. Jim and I did meet with them. I forget whether I reported that at our last meeting or not.
With the new owner? Or the
Yes.
prospective
The
owner?
prospective owner.
At our last meeting, it wasn't part of the group discussion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we've had that meeting. I've had some interactions with that gentleman's attorney regarding IDA programs. Specifically as it relates to this, the foreclosure on this property, the hearing for that has been delayed yet again. Right now it's scheduled for November, again, just trying to give all parties more time to come to agreement. Bankruptcy, sorry, not foreclosure. The bankruptcy hearing has been adjourned yet again into November, to give the parties more time. Number 18, I have to follow up with them. I haven't had a chance yet. I apologize for that. Any other questions on the IDA? Okay, LDC, number 11, we were contacted by, this gentleman's attorney for our payoff figures, for that loan. I had been in touch intermittently with him. I think I previously reported that they had a signed contract. We just spoke yesterday.
Yeah.
So this all happened since yesterday, that his attorney called regarding final payoff numbers. We don't know who the prospective buyer is, other than that it's a cash sale.
But you think the price is enough to get us and the village out?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, that's nice.
yes.
First position.
Co-equal with the village. Yeah. Number 26, this is one that's, I need to follow up with. They have been, so that's a very big balance. They've been carrying a balance because they were on reduced payments for a while. They built up a debt to us, an additional debt, I guess, past due debt to us. They've been paying that off in increments, and then recently that stopped. So we've got to reach out to them and get them back on.
Glenn, we got this through some other convoluted method. This wasn't one we made directly.
Yes, it is. This was our first agri-lending loan because we were under pressure to use it on a regional basis. So these
it's a
people are out in
regional
Groton.
basis.
They're out toward, Groton.
Yeah, south of Groton, I
They've
think.
got conventional financing and don't have any problem paying that.
Right,
So
yes. So, yeah,
here's your,
I know, I have to go to the
Facebook.
guarantor. Yes, exactly. Yeah, and let him know.
yes,
Number 35, just got a payment, it's a big number, but that's 2 months. We just got a payment, we just processed yesterday. So they're down to just 1 month behind, which is where they typically are. And then 44, I do have to talk to our collections attorney regarding making one last effort at getting something out of this.
we gotta at least sue him and
Right,
ruin his life.
yes.
Yeah. So
He speaketh the truth.
Yes,
you sell our collateral and you stiff us, we're gonna get an attitude.
right. Right, are there any other questions on?
How long is 58 deferred for?
58,
Sweet pea. So,
is she back on payments? Yeah, that's just a mistake. She came back on payments, I want to say in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just a mistake. Sorry,
I was talking to Chris.
yeah. July or August, she came back on. So I think it ended up being like a 3 months deferment.
Good. What's our late fee policy?
2%. But as long as they remain in communication with us, we don't charge it.
I'm just like to Scott's earlier point, like if you have one that's gonna charge you.
Oh, yeah, so like when I do have a discussion with number 26. The figure I give them is gonna include late fees.
Okay.
'Cause obviously you're gonna pay the one with the least late fees last, right?
Right,
So we're the lowest interest rate and the lowest late fee.
right,
When we look at
Last
our
page.
policies in January, we ought to think about do we put in a bigger stick
Mhm.
when you go past it?
Yes,
It would make everybody's life either easier or we bank more.
Right, either way, we win.
Correct.
Yeah.
I do like all of the auto pays that we've gone to, where it's gotta be a debit out of your account.
Yes.
That's really cut down the deficiencies by a lot.
Yeah, so every new loan is required to do that.
Okay.
And now that the way we are right now, we are the least concerned to the business because we're the cheapest of everything, so.
Correct.
No way.
That's government.
Right, and we have a reputation of being the easiest to work with.
Patient,
Yeah,
supportive,
yes.
Well, you're the lender of the last resort.
that too.
Where else do you
And
think
we
you're
get
gonna
paid
be?
the last resort.
Yeah.
But
Right, but when you take the collateral and sell it outright,
that's a fraud.
Yes, that was, yes, that
That's
is,
an
yeah,
exception to the rule.
that is by far an exception, yes.
All right, can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report, the
Wait, here's your opportunity.
loan report and pay the
Never mind.
invoices?
Anything.
George used to do that. So moved.
Second,
Second,
discussion, all in favor?
Right.
Opposed, thank you. You want to do the resolution for transferring the
Yeah, so.
loan funds?
Yep, so there was two separate resolutions just to try to. Appease the auditors, maybe, I don't know why I did it as two separate ones. But so basically, we would be transferring our HUD loan program. 252, I'm gonna use round numbers since Scott gave me permission. 252,000 in available funds, 150,000 in outstanding loans. Transfer of those assets to the LDC. And then similarly with our IDA loan fund, 162,000 in available funds and 149,000 in outstanding loans. And transfer all those assets to the LDC with the plan that we would be working to just have our notes say that we won't transfer or sell our loans without the approval of the borrower. So just reaching out to the borrower, explaining to them, nothing's changing except who you make the check out to. But that will be a process because it'll involve like 18 loans. And Tabitha is looking forward to spearheading that.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All right, and you're gonna leave the lease payments. Yep, IDA.
Yep,
Okay,
yep. Any leases or mortgages of IDA owned property,
Yep,
they
those-
will remain with the
All
IDA.
right, so the liens will stay IDA. name.
The liens?
Yeah, if we have a lien on a property, we can transfer some of these to.
So if the ones that involve mortgages, the mortgages will be transferred over also.
Well, right, anything that we have a lien against, probably the lien needs to change to.
Right.
Our documents don't say as
Or it can be as assigned, yes.
can be. as
So
assigned.
basically
Does it
what
say
it'll
that?
be, I've talked to Carly briefly about it. She's envisioning just a one-page addendum to everything, assigning everything over to the LDC.
Okay,
The debt and the asset that's securing it.
right.
Yeah.
And it really can't get transferred until the borrower has signed that one-page thing.
Right.
okay, we have a motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. And we'll do the other motion when we get to the LDC.
Mhm.
The Lactalis pilot plan.
Yeah, so when we first entered into this project with Lactalis, they actually had two projects in mind. One was renovations to the facility itself, along with equipment upgrades. That's what they have the current pilot agreement for. That was closed in May or June. And then they had a subsequent project, which relates to a pretreatment plant they're putting on. They, at the time that we did the first one, they thought it was gonna be several years down the road. Well, that, for whatever reason, I'm sure there's many, that project has speeded up. And so they're ready to move forward with it now, rather than going through a whole other second process of doing a pilot agreement, although a lot of the process on our side would be the same. Just to amend the existing to incorporate this phase 2 project into it. So there was just a little one-page, excerpt from the pilot application that relates to, the description of project costs, and total project costs. So the ones that are in red on the right-hand column are additions to what's existing. So at the end of the day, instead of this being a $6.8 million project, if the IDA does approve the amendment, it would become an $11 million project. All the terms and conditions to be the same as is existing. It's just a shortcut version for them rather than going through the process twice. Now, with that, we will have to do our process in terms of scheduling and holding a public hearing. The seeker review, I didn't get a chance to review the seeker resolution in depth, but I believe that we're just piggybacking on what's already done. And then once we hold the public hearing, we would hope to have that done before our November meeting. Then it would be able to come back to the board for formal approval of the amendment. Right now, it's just approving of the public hearing resolution and the seeker resolution.
I'll move it.
Second,
Second.
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
20 jobs together, right?
Yes,
For both
together.
Projects,
Yes,
that's good.
yeah, but really what it's doing is it's solving a substantial wastewater treatment issue down in
Yeah.
Walton, and it's good for the local community on that regard. And it's just strengthening their footprint in here, and they're upgrading things for the future, not just to get past this year. So, yeah.
You don't wanna build a pipeline that we own or anything like that?
And
Had enough of that already?
unfortunately, this pipeline already exists. Otherwise, I would love to have
I'll
another
bet you
one.
would.
Yeah,
I think this is a good idea because I think that this might possibly resolve their litigation issues that they're going through right now.
That's a pretty positive outlook when you start spending that kind of money for the community.
Good. Glenn, you want to talk about the other projects?
yeah, okay, so project 7I, we're moving forward with that process of turning that into a shovel-ready site. Just an update on that. The surveyor that's involved is working on the outer boundary survey as a prelude to a formal boundary line adjustment that will be done to move the site plan forward. And then they'll be moving into site plans, stormwater pollution prevention plan, all that, to create a shovel-ready site of approximately 5.4 acres. This is still, we're still in the early stages, hoping to get all the permitting and everything on that side done, and then be able to move forward with the actual work of making it shovel-ready as early as we can next year. That's the current plan right now. In addition to that, I thought we would have it done for this meeting, but I might have messed up my weeks. The transfer of this property currently owned by the LDC to the IDA is with our attorney, should be completed by next week. So, now it just puts the property into the hands of the entity that's developing it.
And you got the maps? Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Email too.
Yep.
I actually sent you 2 emails. One had a lot more information than this one.
Mhm.
Okay, Lindsay, the
Yeah,
Lindsay report.
I guess so. So just a couple of things to touch on. I attended the WCCRC workshop that they put on at the MTC conference room on Monday. Gave a little presentation about what we do, left some business cards. I think everybody that was there had pretty much already been aware of what we do. So I think that that was a good outreach. In addition to that, I'm working with Cornell Cooperative Extension to put together, which has already been put together, a harvesting grant workshop. So essentially Desiree Keever and she's actually my old professor from SUNY Delhi, are doing a workshop on working through the grant process for ag grants, because there are a ton that are coming down the pipeline. And that Glenn and I have been waiting for since probably January of this year, so I'm glad they're coming out now. We didn't get the postcard out and already had 5 people respond that they were ready, so we opened up another time slot. So there's gonna be about 5 hours of that on November 7th. So if you're bored, come on by. And then another project is the Conservation Innovation Grant that was put through the Delaware County Soil and Water District as well as WAC. They were kind of a partner on that. I helped a local farmer apply for that, and haven't heard anything yet, but crossing our fingers. So that's pretty much all I have to report.
Excellent. Glenn, Tom Hancock.
Yeah, so in between our meetings, we had a email vote to provide $40,000 to support the town of Hancock's effort to engage a consultant to pursue grants and develop shovel-ready sites in the Hancock area. It was approved via email vote, and just to get it officially in the minutes, I would just like a second shot at that.
Okay, can I have a formal motion to accept that? We've already had a last vote.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Second, okay. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that was from Millennium Funds, right?
Yes,
Make that an amendment. to
yes,
the
make
motion.
sure that's in the motion.
Okay, and the electrical service issue with the pump station?
Yeah, so we discussed this last meeting, and I was to engage with the industries on how we'd want to handle it and set up a meeting with DCEC, and in similar industry fashion, by Crickets. So basically, I'm just gonna reach out to DCEC, say, send me the bill, I'm gonna pay it, and, once I bill them for it, that's when they'll engage on the issue.
John ought to cut the bill in half for starters,
In terms of,
the amount.
well, they have shown us that it is, what their meter reads. And they've put in 2 separate meters to verify that the old meter was failing. And both meters said, yeah, this is the right level, that was the wrong level. He's not going backwards, he's only going from the time that the meter was changed out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
it's
he was
ju-
gonna
no,
try and
no.
Go back and
Nope.
recapture.
They're accepting that as their bad, and
Alright.
they're just moving forward.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I'm just gonna, when Jay and I were talking, I was gonna tell them, just start billing me what they are.
Mhm.
And, we got talking about property, so we got distracted, but yeah, so just gonna move forward, and we won't, because otherwise we'll wait another year before we hear from them, so.
Yeah.
They were just gonna bill them, then they'll be like, hey, what's this? I'm like, oh, read those 5 other emails you've gotten from me and check your phone messages, and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Bill's just getting bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Village of Franklin.
Okay, so Village of Franklin, we are partnering with the Village of Franklin on, submitting a Restore New York Round 9 project. Hopefully, we're a little bit more successful this time than we were the last time, due to no fault of our own. So we've been working with, Johanna Van Duzen, closely, and we submitted our intent to apply on the 18th of October. And we're currently going through the process of that.
And what will this do for them?
Main Street, essentially Main Street restoration, so they have two property owners that have, collectively 3 buildings, which they're all vacant and, are going to fall down at some point, so this grant essentially allows them to get outside funding to help restore and rehabilitate the buildings so that they can put businesses, and I think there's one residential apartment going upstairs in one of the buildings, and then for the most part, it is a wellness center, a yoga, yoga and wellness, and then a cafe at the bottom, at first floor. So,
Building owners need to be on board with it.
yes, it's been a process, kind of our bad the last time that things happened. So this time I've been really careful to say, listen, you need to tune into these emails, and it's important that you follow the documentation, because I have some of the information, most of it, but I want to make sure that things haven't been changed. They're not out of the realm of things, that they're still looking to go for this project. And we have a meeting next week. Glenn and I have a meeting with an estimator to get updated cost estimates, because that's another big thing that we're, I guess, in the middle of, is that inflation is very much high at the moment, and these cost estimates are coming, we're a year or two old. So I kind of have to make sure that we're getting enough or requesting enough so that,
And there's a new program requirement. It can't just be a contractor's estimate. A third party who's not involved has to certify those estimates.
Oh.
Yeah, it can't be like you get multiple quotes. No, it has to be an independent third party to do it.
Who initiates these, the property owners? The request? Or
So
or
this
staff?
would be through the Village of Franklin.
So the village can get this grant and then provide private building owners with
Yes.
like facelift?
yeah,
Does the property owner put in anything, or is it part of the, they
Yeah.
have put in something? I think we did
Yes.
this in Hancock.
These happen all over.
Yeah.
All down
Yeah.
Branford,
Whatever happened with the
downtown,
sewer thing we were doing in
Okay.
Franklin?
We're,
That's the first I heard of it.
Yeah.
Is it the same?
for the time being, we're pretending that's not an issue.
Okay,
But is it the same?
it's not these buildings, is it?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's the
it
same
is.
ones, yeah.
When
I
we,
guess we are
the
pretending it
first,
has
the
nothing to
first
do
time
with it.
we did this, we highlighted the fact that we were gonna handle this infrastructure related issue. And we got thrown out of consideration because we included it. They're like, just
Okay.
don't mention it. So we're not mentioning it.
No shit. really.
Yeah. It's,
Can't help it.
It's not the right answer, but it's the state's answer.
yes,
Everyone's in and out the grant.
Exactly,
their money, I
That's fine.
follow their rules.
Right.
yeah, of course.
We tried this in Sydney, probably 20 years ago, and we couldn't get any of the business owners to do it because it was a 50% match.
50-50.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
That was mine. So
We
it's
had
a
we might
match.
have quite a few in Hancock
it
that
still-
did it.
No, I think it's back down to 20.
I just. looked
So
it up.
it's
It says
10. It's
Yeah.
10 to max, that's the maximum,
Yeah,
but to be competitive, you gotta be at least at 20.
thank you.
So on paper, it's 10. Yep,
The
you
more
could
you
get
put in, the
90%
better it looks.
fund. But if you ask for 90%, you're not gonna get
Thank
it. So
you.
you gotta ask for a little bit.
Thank you, sir.
It's the same like with their other grant programs, ESD funds 20% of a project. You ask for 20, they're gonna come in, about 16. So, you never.
Is there a minimum impact or can this be one property?
No, so basically, all it requires is the Village of Franklin saying, this is important for our community.
So it's municipality driven.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And I think it was chamber for.
Yeah.
So Glenn,
block.
Is there, outside of this project, is there still a focus on the septic related concern?
Not at this time.
So we're gonna upgrade 3 buildings and,
Well, so, on a conversational basis, there has been some movement on it, but not like, here's the system we're gonna go with and here's who's gonna install it. You know, so there is talk about a solution and what it would be. But that's not the focus at this point.
yeah, and I understand outside the funding, but it seems like it would be part and parcel to the, let's say, longer term project outside of the funding.
Oh, yes, yeah, this.
Something has to be
does have
done.
Be addressed, yeah.
Yeah,
And there
okay.
is, there has been reportedly, I wasn't in the room. Support from, one of Franklin's political representatives that when they're ready to address that issue, that they would be supportive of it and help them with whatever they need.
Okay.
So a politician saying, we'll help you, which is, you know. Yeah.
Is this November? No.
Yeah.
Thank you, very good.
Okay, any other old or new business for the IDL? And if not, I'll have a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Thank you.
Second.
Okay, I'll open up the LDC meeting. And I need approval of the draft minutes from September 13.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion on the minutes other than Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Can I have a motion on the financial reports, the treasurer's report, the invoices and the loan report?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Can I have we have a resolution to accept the IDA funds that we approved moving just a few minutes ago.
So moved.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so yeah, now it's on the floor. So this would do one other additional thing is when we bring these new funds in, we're also going to combine 2 of our existing loan funds into these new monies. It would be the LBC loan fund and the RBEG 4 loan fund. Those 2 and the 2 coming from the IDA would be combined under just one LBC loan fund. It just gives us a little bit more flexibility in lending, makes it much easier with us for administering things, because right now we have like 20-some accounts under the LBC. And we wanted to do a similar thing with our IRP loans, but our reporting requirements prohibit that at that stage. That would have allowed us to get rid of 10 other accounts, but, so yeah, so in addition to moving the funds over, we will be consolidating, the LDC and RBEG funds in with the HUD and the IDA loan funds. And they're all federally based, so it's all fine. And they've all been cleared through audit and everything in terms of any ongoing responsibilities.
Any
Do
other?
we need to talk or to include transferring the ownership of the liens to the LDC at both UCC filings?
Yeah, well, I maybe, we could amend the language, but, so when we were doing the transfer resolutions, I said all actions necessary to transfer the assets of the HUD loan program. So I would say our collateral securing those loans are part of the assets that I meant.
I make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
I think the next two, we could do an executive, we need to go into executive session for.
Yeah.
You wanna do that, you know?
Yeah,
I'll
there's
make a motion, go on executive session.
No, it's Bill.
second, okay. Go
You
ahead.
want me to leave? Cause I will. I'm
No.
happy to leave.
Hi again. Just putting it on pause.
Sounds good.
Be able to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we are back from executive session. We have two resolutions to vote on, under the agri lending program.
To accept an extension of repayment if granted.
I move.
Second.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Was that Wayne that whistled?
It was.
we also, we discussed a loan for AFCN. And we're gonna modify our approval.
Subject to a mortgage on the
Do we
front,
have mortgage on the property to accompany this?
and I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any other discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Any other old or new business?
Nope. Not on my side.
I have a motion to adjourn the LDC meeting.
I move.
Wayne, you can get back on your roof.
Yeah,
There he is. How the repairs coming?
there, the last time this happened, it was flooding. There's 4 or 5 inches in the house, so we had to cut all the sheetrock out and go
Yeah.
through the process of killing mold. This time it's siding, roofing, stuff that I'm pretty much doing myself, so it's a little
Okay.
better.
Good.
Good.
We'll survive.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
Well, enjoy your time. We'll see you, Florida.
Have a good one. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Yep,
Bye,
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wayne.